Hey guys, welcome to another episode of 4Player Animecast. I am your host, Spire, and me are my lovely compatriots here, Near,
Hello.
Dark,
Hey,
and Toast.
so let me
Toast?
tell you about this one time in Gaia Online when I
Wait, I
entered.
think I think we've had more than one story about Kyle Online on this podcast, actually, which is kind of weird, but it is an actual thing. So is this a new story, Toast?
You want to hear a new story? I got several hundreds.
I didn't say I want to hear a new story. I said, is the one you're telling about to tell a new one?
You want me to tell you about this one time when I entered this zombie RP with my
No.
with my with my half demon character? Oh no! I don't want to tell it, but I will.
No. I think we're good.
It's fine. I think we should save that for the after the show. But anyways, this is the 4th of May, and we're actually not that deep into it, right? Most of the episodes out right now.
Isn't today's
episode 4, episode 5, right?
Isn't today
Yep.
Cinco de Mayo? What do you guys make doing a podcast for?
It is absolutely not Cinco de Mayo.
It is definitely not Cinco de
Cinco
Mayo.
de Mayo in Japan, but I don't really
Yeah.
know if they do anything.
Do they
for
celebrate Cinco de Mayo in Japan? That'd be actually pretty funny. But anyways, it is the day before Cinco de Mayo, and for most people in the
Near,
United
what time
States.
is it for you?
He's the East Coast as well.
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
it's
East
same
Coast is
as me.
10:16 right now.
So you're almost at Cinco de Mayo. You gonna drink?
No.
Well, why not? Do you
'Cause
not
I,
like the Mexican drinks, like tequila, and Bacardi?
Sure. Yeah.
And Jose Cuervo?
Cuervo's pretty shitty.
Yeah. I don't drink. So. Hello.
Okay,
Yeah.
so anyways,
so speaking of
Yeah,
anime,
I don't know where Toast really wanted to go with it,
were
but
you
anyways.
drinking Spire? Okay.
No,
So-
no, 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 no. Okay,
So speaking of that, how was your week, Spire? What'd you do?
Yeah, so I've been well, I haven't been doing too much, just some real life stuff. The weather has been getting pretty humid and like really like hot recently, and it's like, I mean, I don't know, it's well, I guess it's near the end of spring, I guess, but still, it is like early May, and I would like it to be a little bit colder than it, or a little bit colder and drier than it is right now. I don't know. Maybe I was just used to like the Pittsburgh weather, but it's like right now it's already like it's turning into like summer. I'm like, oh my god, I'm dying.
So what does this have to do with anime?
It doesn't, but I guess I was just talking about what the general like real life stuff I was doing. But anyway,
Because if you said it's something about all this in April, I would have been like, oh, so you're saying
if you say
this
it's
weather's
a lie.
like July in April?
Yes.
Yeah, but I don't know any I don't know any May anime, so I can't help you there.
Anyways, yeah, I knew exactly where you're going, and I couldn't stop you anyways. But I haven't been doing too much. Again, I finished. Well, I started another visual novel, just like a tiny bit into it. I'm like having it on stasis right now, and then and I watched Avengers Endgame finally, so that was nice.
Near, have you
But-
seen Avengers Endgame?
No.
Dark, have you seen it?
No, I haven't even seen Infinity War, and I don't know what happens in that one either.
The funny thing is, like, okay, so I did watch Infinity War, but the thing is, like, in like these days, well, before it was like, oh, don't tell spoilers, or like even if I don't know, like early stuff came out, it was like pretty it was like it was like 15 seconds of the most important thing in like a YouTube clip or something like that, right? But nowadays there's so many clips of like all the different scenes of a popular movie that by now it's like you can actually just watch the movie by watching the different clips in order on YouTube. You know what I mean?
There was already a cam rip of an Endgame by like Thursday or Wednesday.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Usually these like cameras are pretty quick, especially like especially if they premiere it like early in like China or something like that. It usually gets out pretty fast.
That's
But,
I
illegal.
wouldn't be super surprised if like some cam rips were just straight up employees.
That's
Yeah.
So it's
illegal.
like, you're not gonna catch them because they are the law.
Yeah. But anyways, other than that, I haven't been doing too much. Again, I have been kind of wanting to get back into web novels, light novels, but fucking man, there's so many good. There are probably a lot more than I was reading before, but probably a little bit harder to get back into now. But I'll see what I can do about it.
Just read the top maybe 5 on Shousetsu and you'll be fine.
I'm not. I hate fucking the popular. I like a lot of the popular stuff on Shousetsu is not that good.
If it's not that good, then why is it so popular? It must resonate
right,
with
Toast.
with a lot of the audience in order to make it good.
That is true, Toast. Jesus.
It's your one opinion fighting against, I don't know, 1.3 billion or whatever the highest top score is. Who's gonna win? Not you.
Jesus. Anyways.
Anyway, so following up with that weird whatever Spire talked about, Nier, how was your week?
Pretty good.
Is it better than Spire's?
I mean, sure. It's nice. It's warm. It's not humid. So,
that's good. Yeah, my
Oh, they-
place
they-
has been like humid as shit.
yeah.
If you could compare your current weather to a song, what would it be?
I'm gonna pass on that one.
Mine would be
Not
Eimer
entirely
after the rain. Ha ha.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. My week's been pretty good. I started like actually grinding the ladder in Shadowverse. Probably
Haven't you been doing that on and off pretty?
No, I think the last time I actually really grinded the ladder in Shadowverse was when Chrono Genesis came out.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah, which was quite a long time ago.
What deck are you using?
Oh,
Ramp Dragon.
Nice.
You know, the classic. And I've gotten pretty much all the way through AA. I'm almost at Masters. But I had a pretty bad day today. I lost like 6 games in a row to, Bloodcraft, which is kind of the monster on the ladder right now. But other than that, I've been watching, the usual. Kimetsu no Yaiba, Carole on Tuesday. I watched a bit of Gunjo no Magmal.
oh, okay, nice.
Although it's awfully hard to find not shit subs for that series. I don't know why. It feels like nobody's
You could've
subbing
just
it.
stopped like there.
Yeah.
Pretty hard to find not shit subs.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
Are they like those Spanish subs hard translated into English kind of thing?
No, they're just like there's
they-
like
Do they
grammatical
have?
errors and they're like
Second.
typesetted horribly. I don't know. Maybe I just have
Does-
maybe I
Do you
just
know
found a
who?
bad
Do you know
torrent.
who it was?
The ones I have are Non Nobis and Thundra. But those are both pretty bad.
Yeah.
Other than that, I watched this old, I don't know how old it is exactly, but pretty old set of OVAs called Robot Carnival. Set of like 7, I think, OVAs that are all like different like animators that just did like these short OVAs that largely have no dialogue in them, and they're pretty much all visual storytelling. They're
Mhm.
all really, really well animated, and I don't know, it was just a treat to go through. It's quite nice.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it for me.
Speaking of Robot Carnival, Dark, how was your week? I heard you like robots. Gundam.
Yeah, sometime. I wouldn't say that is a key feature. So, yeah, my week has been something. Been playing PSO2 because episode 6 came out, and that was really cool. Um,
Do you like
playing.
Do you like Phantom better than Hero?
If anyone likes Hero more than Phantom, they should probably get their fucking head checked because Phantom is just more interesting all like around.
Phantom has a lot more movement options. It's unfair.
Just in general, Phantom just has a lot more everything. Phantom's like Phantom Hero in PSO2 was like the worst case scenario of any class in PSO2, where it's like you're spamming the same photon arts all the time because nothing is situational. It's like, oh, this situation arose. What do I use? Oh, the same photon art as every other situation. Phantom has like really versatile photon arts and setups for every weapon. So you're using your entire kit for the most part.
I'm not gonna lie. I just spam normal attacks and like the one that rapid fires like one shot per PP, whatever that is.
Oh, for the gun,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure for the gun, like you're supposed to do like I think the way it works is like normally that would be like what Hero does. To get what I'm getting at is like for Phantom, you're basically doing one skill which sends out your bits. Then you're doing an alternate version of another skill that like sets up a turret. And then
Oh,
you're
I
doing
know what the one
either
you're
a
talking about.
rapid fire or something or an AoE.
You mean
So there's like a lot to do.
yeah. I mean, why does the
really
normal
cool.
attacks got hit so much? 120k on the third hit for free?
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
All right, can we say this for maybe
Well,
near
you
the Shadows
wanted
to
to
come?
know what my week was, and that was predominantly my week. The
What-
other part of my
Okay,
week was not
sure.
getting the roles I want in Grand Blue.
Hey, don't even talk to me about your roles, okay?
Shut up, dude. All right, listen.
I had
I
to
got
spark.
halfway through a fucking like Spark, more than halfway through a Spark, and it's like not only are you not getting the character you want, but here's no banner characters. Also, you're not getting anything from your free daily 10 rolls. Those basically may as well not have existed during this event.
I got
Very
hey
cool.
hey. I did a full spark. I did a full spark. I got 2 limbs, one of which was a dupe during a raid up. This is during a raid up.
Yeah, so was mine.
No,
I only got look. I got a lot of SSRs, but there were no limited. I didn't get anyone that was like a re-up to it either.
shaking my head. So
I don't know.
I think both of our callouts,
Wasn't
like
very good.
we're gonna need like an extra callout just to all the bad luck we got during these rolls.
What are you talking about, Spire? I saw your spark up. You got Shibuya Rin.
Oh my god.
And not even the fancy ones. The original, the pure one.
Wait, you actually
just
got
the R.
Rin? You actually got
Oh.
a Rin roll?
I got a fucking rare Rin, and then Toast was like, "Hey, you guys should be your Rin." I'm like, "Shut up."
You also
Success.
you also got a couple of Kanzaki Rankos, and that's like almost the Shibuya Rin.
I got Perm Ronco, yeah, I did. God damn it. Anyways,
Yeah, so that was a shit show. That was a lot of grinding because it wasn't just rolling. I actually had to grind events for hours each day
right, just to get to the
just to get the amount of
yeah, the
crystals I
extra,
needed
yeah,
to keep
yeah,
doing
exactly.
10 rolls. And I got to like 1 a.m. yesterday and was like, do I want to do another?
Do I want
I
to live this
decided.
life right now?
Yeah, I was like, it's 1 a.m. If I do these other ones, I could get another 10 roll if I stay up until fucking 4 or 5 in the morning, which is
Yeah.
2 hours before the banner ends.
Mhm.
But I was like, nah, I really don't want to do that.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then
Yeah.
I bought a character ticket today.
For what?
So yeah, for a character, pick a character.
Did you get what you wanted?
Well, yeah, because I could pick her. So I
Just
got
making sure.
SSR Tanya.
Okay.
Okay. At least that worked out. So
So
anyway.
anyway, what did you do, me? Well, me, what I did was I don't know. I also watched Avengers Endgame before Spider did, so it's all right.
Before, I'm not sure whether this is a competition, but okay.
And
Yeah.
it was
Obviously, he's a bigger fan.
yeah, it was pretty
Sorry.
good.
Go man.
And did you guys hear about that that Sonic guy? I heard Sonic's getting a movie, and does it count as anime? Kinda.
I don't know if anything in that trailer can count as animation. Honestly,
Just
Don't worry, Dark. They're gonna fix it in
What-
like the 6 months that they have to
yeah, they're gonna
cram
fix
rush
it
it.
in post.
yeah, they're gonna fix all the yeah, they're gonna
throw
fix.
some chili dogs in his hands. Great. Plays all of his fingers with chili dogs.
Anyways,
So what did I watch anime wise? I don't know. I watched that thing, and I watched more Fusoni Komi. It's always good to open up your week with a Fusoni Komi. Is it like Tuesday or Wednesday or something? It's always good. Yeah. I also what you're not catched up with it yet? Why not?
Because I'm too busy playing ESO.
How many triggers have you ran already?
I have no idea. There's no way to keep track.
Yeah, there is.
No one ever wants to run them with me, so I only ran 3.
Did you not get your like 50 clears or whatever for the stone?
No, I did not do that.
Well, you should try some more. And anyway, I forgot what I watched.
Yeah?
I mean,
well, you definitely watched at least one thing.
Yeah, you watched one series in particular.
does what is it called? You versus Wild count as anime?
Nope.
Nope.
The fucking Bear Grylls thing again.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Did you know that you're supposed to grab a snake by its head and not its tail? I made him grab it by the tail, and he got bit. Then he had to be
Well,
rushed out.
I think it depends on the snake, right?
It was a rattlesnake, highly venomous.
Probably shouldn't do that.
But I had to know. I also made him eat nuts from bear poo. That was good. That was a good time. Cause he was all like, "Hey, look, there's bear poo." And did you know the bear doesn't digest these nuts completely? So if you rinse it off and all that, it's perfect for a pack of protein. And then I was like, "Do it, Bear Grylls." And he's like, "How did you know I was going to do? You were gonna make me do that." And I was like, "Yeah." I also made him fall off a cliff once. That was fun.
Yeah.
It should be
All
called.
right.
It should be called instead of You versus Wild. It should be called You versus Bear Grylls. The point is to make him is for Bear Grylls to not die.
It's a point. Yeah, it's a true choose your own adventure where the entire time you're trying to kill Bear Grylls. But he's just too good at surviving.
I mean, he did fall off a cliff, and he was like, "Oh, I'm alive, but I gotta
Wait,
call
did
in
you
rescue."
kill him?
No, of course not.
Wasn't even like a game over.
No, the game over is he has to call in rescue, and he's like, "This mission is
Oh.
over." You can't actually kill him. Well, at least I don't know.
What a shock.
Anyways,
Anyway, yeah. So
Toast is also going to tell us later about. I guess
So-
not really later, but
so
soon enough
with-
about what he watched in terms of.
So with that being said, let's talk about anime.
Okay.
I mean,
So.
and I guess
mean,
I guess I'll start off.
Okay, well, Toast is the host today, I guess. Okay, so you
And
want
I watched. Oh my god, what is this? That's
Gus, what did
the
you-
wrong picture I almost put up. Whoops. Don't worry, it was just an arrow picture. One of my I have this Nero folder, you see, and it's situated right next to the 4PA folder. Oof, that would have been dangerous.
Yeah.
That's my Nero folder. You can't see. It's well, I'll tell you about it. It's the one with Nero dressed up as Nero from the Devil May Cry series. Yeah, you don't want to see that.
So what did you watch?
So what did you watch,
What did
Toast?
I watch? I watched. Oh my what is this? Why isn't it
Toast
showing
is
up?
struggling to remember the series.
There you go. I don't know. It's Dark. What's the title again?
Isn't it Choukadou or something like that? Choukadou, Choukadou
Choukadou
Girl 1-6. Just say that.
Is that what Cho means? No, I thought Cho was butterfly.
No,
know,
that
dude,
just
I
Cho
don't
just means
know.
super.
Like Dragon Ball Super? Then why is it called not Super Stranger and not Amazing? I don't know. But yeah, Choukadou Girl 1-6. It was cool. It's a 13-minute anime made by someone.
I think it's a smaller studio. I don't think it's.
I don't know.
Right?
It's made
Studio
by.
A Cat.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
I remember why that. That's the same one who does Frame Arms Girl.
Wait, did we actually discuss the studio in the I knew we discussed how it was similar to Frame Arms Girls in the preview, but I don't think we discussed the
I don't
studio
think we
itself,
did.
right? Yeah,
No,
okay.
I don't
So,
think-
so this makes way more sense now.
So like, have you guys seen the promotional art where it looks like it's typical anime art? Guess what? Yeah, they're lying to you. Cause
What
this
does that mean?
you saw Frame Arms Girl, right, Dark? What color what animation style were the Frame Arms Girls? They weren't normal.
Oh,
They were
yeah,
CG. Ah! So they basically did the same
that
thing
said,
there.
I would say this is a little bit of a step up. Somehow.
It's fine. I mean, it's fine. You got the what's her name? What is her name? I forgot.
Nona?
Nona? Yeah, Nona.
Yeah.
I was about to call her Roll, but that's like no, or Alia. That's not it. Yeah, it's. Let me tell you about this Choukadou. It's about. Voices keep dropping. It's about.
It's about what?
Oh no.
All right, Toast is going through many struggles right now.
OBS, what are you doing to me?
Well, yeah, no, we're also apparently
Uh,
having technical.
my OBS is freaking out. It's in the red. Can,
Nice.
can you still hear us? No? What's happening? Hello? Are we good now?
Yeah, yeah.
I
Okay.
don't know. Tell us. You're the one with OBS.
No! It's flashing. Green and red only. Anyway.
What's going on, Toast?
My OBS is freaking out. Anyway.
Okay, don't
It
worry.
looks like green right now. Oh wait, what was I talking about?
Oh
yeah,
Choukadou
the
Girl.
story is about this guy named
Nona.
Boida Haruto, who's like, who is the, I don't know what do you call him. What level of otaku is he from?
Too high.
Yeah, okay. It's about this guy named Boida Haruto, who's all like, I'm gonna live alone, and anime is life, waifu is laifu, and he lives alone, and his favorite anime is the one with Nona in it, Interplanetary Girls Planetary Investigation. And he was all like, I'm gonna buy this figure. And then when he buys this figure, he realizes that Nona's real life. Because in the anime, there was a scene where Nona's travels to this giant planet, and then this giant rock sculptor dude, like that one. He kind of looks like that one dude from Thor Ragnarok, the rock guy. I don't remember his name.
I have no idea what you're talking
I have no idea what you're talking about, actually.
So
Is this a show about figures?
yeah, let me get
It
there.
is, but
Let me
it
get
starts
there.
out with that.
Let me get there. So in the Nona's anime, she travels to this rock planet with this guy who's like a sculptor, and he's all like, "Whoa, tiny little dude, you might get squished if you're here." He's a sculptor. He makes things out of rocks. So he's all like, "Here, wait, in the morning, don't move. Be this figurine on my rock sculpture store, and so no one will mess with you. Then at night you can move. So it's kind of like Toy Story in a way.
Mhm.
And then she's like, okay. And then when she wakes up, she's not in the anime, but she's in real life because of how somehow she came to real life and she came to be alive in real life. She's all like, whoa, what is this? This isn't like my anime. This or you know whatnot. Well, okay.
Yeah, she goes, "Whoa, this isn't like my anime. This is real."
Do you remember how Buzz Lightyear was all like, was all like, this isn't Planet Zurg or whatever, fighting
Yeah,
the Zurg?
yeah,
Anime?
The hell?
No,
No, this is real life now.
he's saying that like at the beginning the figure or whatever that came to life or whatever, right, would assume that she was still in the context of whatever thing she was in, right?
Yeah.
But it's not actually what happens because she's in like Japan or real life right now.
Yeah, so she's like
like
Buzz
how Buzz
Lightyear,
Lightyear,
and
yeah.
it's like, but her weapons are real. Let's make it that. She doesn't have the dumb laser
But her weapons are
laser
real.
beam or the laser flashlight that Buzz Lightyear has. But when she pulled out her weapons, they're real. And she's all like, "Who are you, weirdo?" And Boyda's like, "Whoa, Notice, come to life!" And then she shoots him with her tiny rocket launcher stuff. He's all like, "Whoa, what are you doing?" And then when she looks around, she's like, "Whoa, what is this strange planet? How did you get a picture of my orbital space satellite spaceship thing?" And the dude's like, "Whoa, I'm playing the anime, and she thinks it's like," and he's like, he tried to make her think like, don't worry, Nona. I'm a space scientist. I'm here to help you with your mission, which is to investigate planetary life." And she's like, "Whoa, that's so cool." But later on in the same episode, she was like, "Wow, you lied to me, jerk." It's kind of like when Woody was all like, "You are a toy," to Buzz Lightyear, except it was in reverse.
Yeah, with that exact inflection.
Except Nona found out. She's like, "Wow, you lied to me. What is this strange planet?" And he's all like, "Oh, I guess I'd better tell you that this is real life, and you're just an anime figurine." And then she's like, "Oh, okay." And then she starts watching TV.
That's
Okay.
actually about how it goes.
Conflict resolved.
But then
Pretty much.
That's weird.
and
That's
then
weird.
and then Nona's like, "Hey, I found this, and it's a marriage license." Because when you're that level of otaku, you get an official marriage license, and you write your favorite anime figurine waifu on it. And she's all like, "Whoa, weirdo, what is this?" He's like, "No, don't look at that." And she's all like, "Does this mean that you love me and you need me?" And he's like, "Yeah, kinda does." And then she's like, "Okay, I accept this marriage." And he's all like, "Yeah, I did it." So now he's in there. They're married. And
She seems to accept things pretty quickly, huh?
Well, you see, Toast left out.
I
the
mean, that
part
sort of has
where
happened
she
in these
accepted
series,
it
where
as
it's
a gag, because he said you can't laze around here all day, and then she
Uh-huh.
pulls out the marriage license and is like, I heard newlyweds just stick around the house all the time.
he's all like, "Oh," he's like, "Oh
Nice.
Then she
darn,
goes back to watching TV.
she got me." And he's all like, "I have no choice but to begrudgingly accept this." And then, I don't know. I guess it's their adventures of their daily life. But then he buys it, and he was all like, "Whoa! If Nona is,
Hey, give us less than like a rundown of episodes 1 through 5.
I mean, I'm almost done." So,
Yeah.
so it goes off like, "Whoa! If Nona came to life, let me buy some more figurines and see what happens." So he buys more figurines, and lo and behold, another one pops out, and then it's the adventures of this guy and his figurine waifu harem.
So is
To
it?
the end.
So this is essentially the same as Frame Arms Girls, but with less of like the government like coming or like different weird like faction things happening, which I remember like happening in Frame Arms Girls, right? Like
That actually
what?
happened. That happened in France.
Did
Are
that-
you sure?
I-
I don't think that happened.
I remember Frame Arms Girls like actually having some like weird like pretend drama shit, right? Like
No.
really?
I remember.
the only drama in Frame Arms Girls was that like one of the other ones shows up, like the
I don't remember
like
the
end
names.
boss AI shows up or whatever, and then they like I think they
Oh
beat
wait,
her,
fuck!
and then
It's
she
not Frame
joins
Arms
the-
Girls.
You're
I'm thinking.
fucking the Centaur's Life.
No,
Psycho.
I'm not. No, I'm not. There was another series before.
Oh,
This is
I know
different.
what you're talking about, but I don't remember the name either.
Yeah. It was like Buso Shinki, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck. You're right. I messed it up. But there's so many of these series
Yeah,
now.
like in Frame Arms Girls, the thing is, hey,
Yeah.
we're gonna give you the ground type robot. Then later, because the parents saw the chick work in like the Frame Arms Girls lab, they're all like, whoa, this is fascinating. Let's send her more. So they send Amazon drones to her house and give her more Frame Arms Girls. Then they battle. And they give them combat data for some reason, and I don't know, some other stuff. But it's not like that where you don't get these fantastical, cool not Yu-Gi-Oh Brains, Gundam build divers type fights. No, it's all
Don't-
real life.
Ever say fantastical, cool Gundam build diver fights ever again? Because none of those fights were fantastical or cool.
Maybe not to
Fucking
you.
lie. Divers was terrible. All right, all those fights were doo doo.
Then
Watch
fine, I don't
any
know.
of the other build fighters are better.
Build fighters try, sure, yeah, sure. Build fighters anyway.
I mean, this either way. This is a what I kind of want to ask is this is a pretty straight attempt to sell figures, right?
Are there even figures of these
I
characters?
don't think there are figures of any of these
They'll
characters.
probably make them.
Yeah.
Sure. But yeah,
Eventually, like I guess for the long run, but as of right now, seems to just be like that sort of gimmick figures to life.
so what else can I say about the series? It's otaku pandering towards a certain generation, because this anime is very this multimedia franchise, I should say, is aesthetically styled towards the maybe early 2000s style of animation, if you get what I mean.
Mhm.
The robot girls, Mecha Musume stuff. I mean, you can just tell in the art style already. This isn't the edgy 2010s. This is early 2000s with it draws parallels with let's say Mega Man.
Yeah, I mean, I think your Mega Man like comparison design wise is pretty apt. It's like a lot of them have obviously like smoother metallic parts
Yeah,
rather
because
than
we mentioned that she looks like Alia from Mega Man X with I don't know, mixed in with Roll. You know, the red and the yellow, basically female Zero, but without a sword. She's got guns because the sword is the Dragon Quest chick. Because we're gonna genre skip through here because he's a weeb. You have the robot girl, then you got the brave.
So can I ask something? Like I'm asking this like not as a criticism, not as anything. I'm just asking because like I'm not as like familiar with. I don't know how else to say this perspective, but it's like
Do you not like figurine Spire? Did you not watch anime in the early 2000s? Do you not like Mega Man?
I'm just like trying to think of like even if I do like figurines, do you
Even
like
if I
seeing
did
them?
have figure, I don't want to marry him.
Yeah, I'm just like, does it? Because it's like a lot of this also like it's CG and not like the best of CG, right? Is it
I would
good
say
CG? It's not good
slightly
CG.
improved over Frame Arms Girls.
Well,
but it's
yeah,
not-
but it's not like.
I don't know. It's
I would
It's not too bad.
I don't know. I guess I'm gonna say this is more like different strokes for different folks.
Mhm.
Frame Arms Girls is more modernish anime. This is more retro?
Well, I
Are-
think
are
the
we in
CG
Arrow?
itself, though.
Yeah, I mean they're kind of similar, aren't they?
I mean, they're similar, but I think that this one has a smoother frame rate overall.
Okay,
I
I'm
don't know, I
not.
could
I'm not
just be
gonna argue with
wrong.
that.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, this is.
I don't know. I think this has a little bit better like blending.
I
Shaders
don't
and
know what
whatnot.
to say other than this is campy slice of life stuff. We haven't gotten to any the mysterious thing where
Like any like weird drama kind of things.
I mean they're the only weird dramas with her and the Dragon Quest chick. She's all like Haruto's my man, and then the Dragon Quest chick's like, no, he's going to help me in my quest to save the world. And she somehow drags him into Dragon Quest world. He's all like, what is this? And then, I don't know, fantastic adventures, Dragon Quest Land. I don't know. It's
Wait.
fine. It's fine.
that
What?
part, yeah.
What? What? He's traveling to
Sure.
different worlds?
No, somehow he got you know in Persona 4 where they get dragged to the TV. I guess he somehow gets dragged to the TV. Then he's all like, "How do I get up here?" But don't worry, he gets out.
Okay.
But that's like a one-time thing because you know the Dragon Quest girls from the game.
So can I ask you
That's about
something? I mean, I know this sort of discussion is slightly similar to what we had about like content collection and like splitting between the drama parts and like the slice of life in a sense, right? But would you prefer that? Would you prefer that this series keep going on with the slice of life stuff?
Hell
Or
yeah!
would you-
I
would you
want
this, like,
him. I want him to look. We already got like what we got at least 3 or 4 more girls that we haven't seen yet.
Right.
Like there's the weird genie Shantae looking character, and then like the shrine maiden, and then I don't know some China girl. I think
Okay.
we haven't met them yet. But I guess we gotta travel through all the genres, Spire.
All of the quote unquote genres. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
anyway, yeah.
What can I say? It's good.
Okay.
I
Well,
don't-
no, I get. I mean, after you explain, I get a. Definitely get more of why you would want to watch it because it's like
What is that supposed to mean?
no, because like I've watched stuff like Fusoshi.
It's pretty straightforward, though.
How do you
you
Yeah.
would like to watch it?
how do you know what I like?
What do you mean? How do I know?
Yeah,
Because you told me.
Well, you said you can see me watching this. Explain your reasoning.
No, he can literally see you watching.
Yeah, I'm actually I'm behind you right now, actually, Toast.
Okay.
But yeah, I
Alright.
definitely after your explanation, I can definitely get a little bit more of why, people might want to watch this a little bit more, especially with the more current slice of life format that Choukadou Girl has, I think, as opposed to something like Buso Shinki. So definitely,
This fall, I'm guessing this fall into a good place because retro is coming back. You know, Spire. We got reboots that are coming up. We have Inti Creates. What Inti Creates has been putting out fire recently. You know that old
Inti Create. How the fuck did we get here?
you know that old game Blaster Master on the NES?
Yeah.
They did Blaster Master Zero for the Switch, and it was pretty cool. It had the robot waifu Eve. She's a robot now. She's got a cool design. Then recently was Blaster Master Zero 2 for like what $10-15 on the Switch. I would buy it. Then Eve got even more waifu. She's a robot. That was cool. Retro's coming back, baby. How else would you explain the Sonic movie and the Star Wars reboot?
Wow.
well, I'm not sure whether I would just call them retro or just
Star
not
Wars
good.
Reboot.
Also, I don't know about this.
And I guess the Avengers would count towards this because what? Comic books are retro. They brought it back, baby.
I'm not sure whether they brought comic
brought
books
it
back.
Yeah, they brought back. They
It
brought
took-
them back.
it
took-
Fucking 10 years
Yeah,
ago.
it took 10 years to bring it back, but comic books are popular.
Yeah,
Comic book movies are popular
They're
again.
finally back.
10 years in the making, baby.
And what else? Fruits Basket, that's back. in the Shell? Yeah, with Scarlett Johansson. That's back. That's retro.
No.
Godzilla's coming back. Yeah. And
Okay.
what else? There was one more.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fruits. Did I say
Yes.
fruits basket? Yeah, fruits
Yeah,
basket.
You said
fruits
that.
basket check and not Ghost in the Shell.
So there's gonna
Full
be
Metal
like a Fruits
Panic.
Basket movie or something.
Clear card.
Wait. Dark what?
Nah, I said, what if they make like another Fruits Basket, Fruits Basket 2?
Yeah. They just remake the remake the
That's why
remake.
they did the reboot so that they could do more seasons.
Jesus Christ, please! I can't
It's gonna
wait.
be
to-
like when they reboot Lane and they make Lane 2.
Shut up.
Didn't
No,
they make Lane 2?
No.
What?
They,
There
no,
was
they,
a-
they,
there was
they,
a
no, they should make
VM.
they should make a sequel, but it's only a live action movie.
What do you
Lane travels
not a
to
full-
the real world and it's
Yeah.
superimposed like it's like Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
God.
And it's Chris Pratt.
I mean, I like Chris Pratt.
just
Chris Pratt with Lane. How would you feel about that?
I'd like it. Sure.
I'd probably just end my life right there.
it's not even like the fit Chris Pratt. It's just like the fat one from like Parks.
Chris Pratt from fucking Parks and Rec too. Yeah.
plays
dude.
Lane.
And fat
Sad.
Andy Dwyer.
Yeah.
No, there was something else that was coming back. Lion King, Aladdin.
All right,
Retro
all
is
right,
back,
all right. Let's
baby.
let's
But yeah,
yeah.
closing thoughts. This show, if you're within the age group that this falls into, watch it.
What would that be?
It's the retro anime. I don't know. This is
Okay.
very. This is
I would
this
just
is a
suggest people who like want to watch like a different variant on something like Buso Shinken Frame Armor Girls, right? Because
this
it's like
is also
those-
a very non-offensive anime. Like most anime is offensive recently. We don't need to go into
wait,
details.
what? Okay, sure, sure. Keep going, and
Near, don't you know about the offensive animation that is One Punch Man season 2?
well, that's a different type of offensive. I think.
Yeah.
I think that there. I think the definition of offensive is slightly different. But anyways, thank you, Toast, very much for covering it. Choukadou Girl.
Watch it. You that's one subreddit with the figurines. You know who you are.
I hope it's not the I hope it's not the subreddit I'm thinking of. But anyways, next on the list, I guess. No, I guess I'll go then. So I'm going to cover Shoumetsu Toshi. So I think that's
What is
trans-
translated in English? I don't speak Japanese.
So I think the English title for it is just like Lost Town or something like that, or it's like Disappear.
Oh,
Oh, Mayoiga. Wow.
like Gaku and Toshi asterisk. Oh, what is Gaku and Toshi? What's Toshi? Is that war? I don't know.
I think that's different because it's like because in Gakusen Toshi it's like it's not talking about like a town. I think it's talking about like
Battle City.
like
Oh, that's-
battle things. But
Oh, man,
I think
it's like
I think the
Yu-Gi-Oh.
kanji is different, but I'm not sure. But anyways, Shoumetsu Toshi is just about how do I say this? There's like a lot of in media res stuff, so I need to describe this a little bit carefully. But the backstory is that there's a city that just suddenly disappears, and there are like no survivors except for this one girl, blue hair girl called Yuki. So
Did she do it?
it's all a mystery, but
She did it.
there she done it. It was the butler, but there's there's another protagonist, our male protagonist called Takuya, who is a professional sort of courier and and contract sort of courier. So he essentially takes packages, whatever they may be. It could be legal, it could be illegal, whatever, and takes them to another place. And he meets Yuki, gets a job to take her to inside the city, named Lost now, the disappeared city, and find out what's inside, because Yuki is connected to, I think, one of the researchers in the city or something like that, or one of the researchers that were in the city rather, and they want to find if there's anything that could clue people into how the city disappeared, etc., etc. But obviously, there are other like organizations and stuff, and the government that want to stop Takuya from getting into the city, and also want to, you know, capture Yuki for various purposes, whether it's research or whatever, or lockdown or whatever. So,
Is it because she
then-
has blue hair?
yes, it's because she has blue hair. Nobody likes blue hair.
That's
But
like the filthy Darksons from Valkyrie
no,
Chronicles.
yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like, filthy darks. But
Wow, that's racist.
anyways, so before long, obviously Takuya and Yuki drive along, and then they, face off against, run away from, but a whole bunch of different people and organizations as they try to get into Lost to find out the mystery of how it disappeared. This is done by, I believe, Madhouse, right? Yeah, Madhouse. Is Madhouse doing multiple series this
season?
They're doing one.
Yes.
Weren't they doing? No, wait, no, never
No,
mind.
that's
They're not
JC,
doing one
right?
Punch. Yeah. You
It's
got
JC.
me there.
And then, so this is the only one they're doing right now, right?
No, they're doing Diamond No Ace as well, I believe.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, this is pretty much their sort of not continuing series, right? So,
Yes.
yeah. So they're doing this, and then it has a decent amount of money put into it from, what I'm seeing from like the voice actors, from what I'm seeing of the general, like, I guess, setup. The audio visuals aren't particularly good. It was, I believe, a game original, but yeah, it was a game original. As for how the actual plot is, personally, I don't find it very impressive, and this is for like a couple of reasons. Well, first of all, I'm not a big fan of in media res happened, so then we all have to kind of run after it, which means it's like, do you guys sort of know what I'm talking about? Where it's like, oh, okay, the character. So in this, for instance, the protagonist is kind of put in the middle of like all this happening. Like Yuki's suddenly on the blue haired girl is suddenly on the run from the organization, and he just has to deliver them. And he's like, okay, I'll do it, even if it means it costs me my life. And he just kind of goes off, and then all these adventure things happen to him, right? And I'm personally not a big fan of that for relatively obvious reasons, right? Because things don't happen like that for pretty much anybody, anybody reasonable, that is. And if because in media res kind of forces this sort of railroading where the protagonist is like, oh man, now I just have to do this because I'm suddenly stuck in the middle of all of this. I wasn't particularly a fan of how they kind of just handled it, especially since the main character kind of brushed it off as like, I have to fulfill all my contracts. I have to make sure that the girl at least checks to see if her dad is safe, or checks to see that the city is indeed gone, or whatever it is, right? And I was like, well, like, okay, sure, whatever. And so at that point, the series became a little bit more cheesy than dramatic / serious. Second of all, I think there's too much that's stuck in the in media res, because you know how it's like a lot of mystery series, especially like with anime these days, start in media res and then they like uncover everything from like sort of backwards, right? So it's like they have all these like different sort of like layers. So they have all these like different layers, and then they sort of uncover it from, how do I want to say this? They uncover the bits of the in media res like bit by bit, right? Where it's like they have like 50 people show come up. They show like 50 different people, right? Like they foreshadow like this organization coming in, and then this boss in the shadows is talking, and then this woman at a bar is just talking at, like some sort of like spy, and then later on they like sort of uncover the people bit by bit. It's sort of how it works, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like way too much of that was displayed like at the beginning, and then we know that each of these have to be uncovered bit by bit, right? But it's like too much of it is like already in the dark, and we know that it's already in the dark. So then it just becomes a game of like, okay, well, are you gonna reveal this sometime soon? What's going on? You guys know what I'm talking about? Like,
No.
like you know, they're like if
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's
because
like
in like
they're
episode
doing,
1 or 2,
they're
they
trying to do something where it sounds like they're trying to like quote unquote like, show not tell.
yeah,
But
exactly.
they're not also showing you enough.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, wow, I don't know who this is. That's kind of mysterious, but literally like everything is quote unquote mysterious. So it's like, okay, when are you going to show me so that things actually start making sense for me? Like, so I know sort of what leads to follow in episodes, right?
I mean, it
So-
sounds just like imagine if in fucking
So,
part 3, JoJo, you just don't know who Dio is still, and you're like 30 episodes in, and
So-
they're
so
still
who
like
did it?
showing blonde man in the darkness.
Yeah, exactly.
so who did it?
So,
I
My,
have no idea.
my question is, are you just saying that this series handles in media res badly, or were you just saying like don't like in media res in general?
No, I think immediate arrest is a little bit harder to handle than usual, but obviously it's not like bad in itself. But I don't think that the way the writers did it, they handled it well because of, first of all, obviously, again, as I said, they kind of didn't explain the transition between what the protagonist was doing and now is going to do, and how the immediate arrest stuff fits all in. And then the second part is they put too much stuff in the dark with regards to immediate arrest. And now all I'm waiting for is I'm just like, okay, well, I need to see all the dominoes fall, right? It's like that's literally all I'm waiting for now.
Right.
And third of all, I think this series has a little bit too many layers. Like all I'm thinking of is like that Shrek scene with like the onion, right? It's like it has a lot of layers, and I think that's kind of cool. I mean, obviously, like a cheesy like mystery drama supernatural series needs this sort of thing where it's like it has a lot of layers, right? But at some point it kind of becomes like that. What was that? What was that one skit? One YouTube video? I think it was like, it had like Key and Peele in it, right? Where it's with a collab. Was it like with that? Fuck. Like what? I think it was the guy that did like Rocket Jump or Freddie Wong or something like that. He worked
Justin
with like
Wong.
Key and Peele. No, dude.
Yeah, Freddie Wong is Rocket Jump. I don't remember them
Yeah.
doing a Key and Peele.
Yeah, I think he worked with Key and Peele, and it was like this thing where it's like plot twist upon plot twist upon plot twist upon plot twist or something like that.
Oh, that's ringing a bell. I don't remember exactly the thing.
I think I have the Mexican standoff or something like that.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah. So it kind of reminds me of that, and it starts. Sorry, let me post this actually in the Twitch chat too. But it kind of reminds me of that, and it starts going from, oh, that's interesting, to like, I don't really know what's going on here. Like I like this starting to become a little bit more comedic than like actually dramatic, right? So I wish they comment a little bit down with the layers, but I'll have to see a little bit more of how it's going on because it's like
How far in is this?
4 episodes in.
It's a 12 episode series.
Yeah, but they've already been like, oh well, this guy, like the woman was working with the evil people who was working with the boss like the evil lady who's commanding the goons underneath the boss, and then the evil lady kind of wants to, show off for the boss, but then the boss is resembling the sister of or the brother of the kid, and then the kind lady who's supposed to be betraying the protagonist actually ends up betraying the evil lady instead, and then runs along with him and then fights off the evil. I'm like, okay, look, like it's like a couple of episodes in. You don't need to put in these many layers, okay? Like,
how are the fight scenes?
the fight
How
scenes.
how is the sakuga? To use a layman's
The
term.
fight scenes aren't particular. The issue is, it's like the fight scenes are mostly just. How do I say this?
Compare them to something. Are they more like Naruto, or are
You
they
know-
more like Fate, where they talk,
You know how
or
it's
like
like
Hunter x Hunter, where
What?
it takes like 30 minutes to do one move because they're always
no,
talking?
no. You know how it's like the usual like superpower like like the levitation and like manipulation of objects like thing where it's like they where like psychics like take the different objects, like they float up different objects and then they throw them at people, right?
Like
Essentially.
Frieza or Scarlet Witch.
I mean, like pretty much, yeah, exactly. Or like Thanos like throwing the moon at people, like the moon at people, right? Like with the shards and everything.
Wow! Don't spoil. Dark hasn't seen Infinity
That
War.
wasn't
But
I wasn't listening to a word he said anyway.
But the thing is, it's like every fight scene is like that. It's really weird because it's like I don't know how else to describe, but it's like every person kind of with the supernatural powers, their power is pretty much just to form these like different objects, whether it's like rocks or knives, and then they just throw them at people. But they're
So-
not like real knives; they're like spirit knives or something like that. Like I don't know how to describe it. It's
Like-
like really weird.
Like is it like
they're called
Scry?
words, Spire, and they cut deep.
Is it like Scry, or is it more like Unlimited Blade Works?
Does it really matter, Toast? This show looks like garbage. Like this show's not well animated.
So
at
you're
all.
telling
Didn't
me-
you
you're
think
telling-
that the guy floating through the air with like the 7,000 MP5s floating next to him you didn't think that looked good?
So you're telling
No.
me it's not as good as the fight scenes at Unlimited Blade Works?
Are you telling
Believe
me
it or not,
that it's not
Yes.
as good as something from UFO Table?
Not as good as what is it? What are they doing? Magmel? No. Kimetsu no Yaiba? It's not like that.
no.
Wow, this show sounds like it sucks.
Yeah, I mean, all you need to do is watch the PV. Hell, look at any screenshots. This show is not well animated. Can tell that.
Yeah, but do you
Pretty
really need
quickly.
that?
Shut up.
Maybe you're just Near's just a hater, okay?
Maybe you're just nitpicking, you know.
Yeah, I'm just a Madhouse hater.
Yeah, he's just a Madhouse hater. You're just mad because Madhouse gave away One Punch Man to JC staff, okay?
Um,
Superior
anyways.
JC staff.
But anyways, that's sort of so all the fight scenes are literally just like somebody taking like a whole bunch of rocks. Like again, these are not like real rocks or something like that because they just like randomly multiply and they're
Telekinetic
like
rocks? What?
it's not like they actually it's not like Scarlet Witch where they actually like pick up objects and they throw them. Like these objects kind of just appear and then they just throw them. And
So like stand power?
yeah, it's like
Yeah,
really
yeah,
weird. I don't know how to
the
describe
stand is
it.
To
It's,
make rocks.
yeah, it's just like
the most
huge rock.
powerful stand ability, just throwing rocks.
It's like a stone statue of Wemu, but it's like it's just it's
I thought the most powerful stand ability was Starfinger.
please. But that's sort of how every fight scene goes, and then it's kind of I don't know whether I would say worse, but it's like it's not very good, but it's because every fight scene is essentially the dude just kind of people are just kind of getting walloped left and right by these sort of psychic powers, I guess.
Like wait, hold on. Can people see them?
Yeah, people can see them.
Okay, so it's almost like Elfin Lead, except people could see the vector arms. I gotcha. I
But,
gotcha.
it's so like pretty much every sort of fight scene, quote unquote, is like people getting walloped around by these supernatural powers, and then at the end, Yuki, the girl, gets like angry enough, and then she glows red, and then her like stand.
blue.
Yeah, she's blue, and then she glows red. Wow, that's a contrast.
Whoa,
But yeah,
that's
but
thematic, dude.
yeah, she grows angry and then she glows red. That's very thematic. But and then her like stand appears or something like that. Like she calls it like Akira, but like her stand or some shit
Oh, I
appears.
love that
and then,
movie.
So it is a stand?
yeah, I guess. And then her stand summons all the same sort of like psychic power that the bad guys have, but it's like instead of having like multiple knives or multiple rocks, it's always like multiple guns. And then he like shoots the opponent, and then it does I guess like spiritual damage or something to the dude, and then he disappears, and then the dude disappears. I don't think they actually like kill the people because like the first time the dude
That's illegal.
yeah,
Let,
that's
let,
illegal.
let me
It's like
ask.
Batman. It's like Batman. But
Let me
first,
ask. Is
yeah.
it like the Emperor, or is it more like Sex Pistols? Six Pistols.
Shut up,
It
Toad.
just makes a bunch of guns, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the Emperor.
Like, imagine if it was unlimited blade works, but it was unlimited gun works.
'Cause the Emperor is whole horse, and his stand is a gun, the most powerful type of stand. Six Pistols is Mister just shoots.
Bullets.
Yeah, it's bullets. So
yeah, but like this is literally just. If you see the PV, the dude just
It's
makes
literally
a bunch
just
of
a
guns.
bunch of like guns.
Oh,
It's basically
behind
like
him.
if
It's
you
literally
could
just-
just like have a bunch of people with you, like a firing squad. at all
so
times.
it's like Homer except without time powers. Or no, mommy. There you go, mommy.
Sure, yeah. Except they're not
Okay.
muskets.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So I understand your visual representation now. I got you. Continue.
Okay, so the stand summons all these guns, and then he like shoots them, and then the opponent kind of dies of like explodes of like spiritual damage or something. It's like very confusing. I don't. It's because it's like I would think that he just like dies. The opponent just like dies or something like that because they blow up. But then the first time the opponent blew up, he like came back later. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess they don't die. So it's very confusing. I guess that's also part of the what's going on in the media rest that I don't get, but I guess I'm supposed to get later. But so that's sort of how it goes, I guess. But overall, it was at best cheesy, and I want to say at worst sort of incoherent. I'm not sure whether I don't like hate it or anything like that. I just found it incoherent. I was just like, a lot of these things are just kind of like happening because for the sake of like making it seem mysterious, and I don't particularly buy into that. So, obviously, no fault of this like lies on Madhouse or anything like that. It was the game original. They probably just straight adapted it with a couple of truncations, right? So, kind of, it is what it is. But I wasn't particularly sold on the plot. Overall, I would say don't watch this series unless you like being really mystified by things that they don't really explain very well. So that's sort of all I had to say about Shoumetsu Toshi. But yeah.
Would you?
Oh,
Who,
there was one thing I wanted to point out. Kana Hanazawa at the beginning when she was I think narrating how the city was lost. I think that was her. She had like
so she did it.
she's the main girl.
Okay, so she did it.
Yeah. So she was like explaining things and like saying stuff and obviously emoting a little bit, but she was doing it in like a slightly deeper register before she went into like her regular voice as the main girl or whatever. But I actually like what she did in that sort of narration style voice a lot more than what she does in her regular voice. And I think if she really sort of like mastered that register as well, I would actually be like, okay, well, Kana Hanazawa is actually doing some good stuff.
I mean, I'm sure she has. It's just that nobody ever tells her to do
That is also true. That's definitely a thing. Because everybody just wants her to do the Kuroneko voice, right?
Yeah.
But anyways, that's sort of all I had to say about Shoumetsu Toshi. It wasn't the plot. I was particularly, taken on it. Anyways, that's all I had to say. And with that, we will move
Would
on.
you recommend it to people who like Toshis? I don't know what this is again.
No.
Not really. I wouldn't really recommend it to anybody. I'm not. Maybe if you like something like Ghostic, where you're just like, oh, things are so mysterious, and then it just gets solved, like stuff like that. Maybe like if you're like really cheesy, not even mystery, just like drama, supernatural stuff. Maybe, but beyond that, I would.
What was that one where
Just like Hyoka.
what was that one series where the chick got
Kill you.
killed with an umbrella? Wasn't that a murder
That
mystery
was
too?
another.
Another, yeah. That was a great comedy.
Also
I do
very
agree.
similar to Mayoiga brought up earlier.
Oh Jesus. Uh,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
anyways, yeah.
Anyways,
really have much else
thanks
to
for
say.
talking about. What is it called?
It was Shoumetsu Toshi or
Kimetsu
This is-
Toshi. Yeah.
okay. That was not that was not at all what you said, but okay. But yeah, that was pretty much all I had to say about Shoumetsu Toshi. Not too impressive, but anyways.
So then now we have a double feature ending featuring Dark and
I don't
or
know if that's
Near.
really... Yeah,
Dark and Near. What did you watch?
This is literally the opposite of a double feature in which
No. It's
we're
because
discussing the third and final.
You two are the feature, all right?
Yeah,
Because you two are so
because-
special to us.
Shit.
it's because this show is about two people. So now we got
You
two
two
people
are. You
covering.
two have to sing for us now. You two have to sing,
Okay, so
No.
just like
So-
Carole too.
So yeah, now that we have two people, we have Carolyn, and Tuesday. So now we're gonna talk about Carol. Yeah,
Yeah,
go.
let's talk about that really quick. Fucking Toast the other day is like, yeah, but like, is her her name is Carolyn? And I guess you just thought that the show was Carolyn / Tuesday. So that was fun. That is not it. But yeah, Carolyn Tuesday.
Okay, let's start off. Who's Carolyn and who's Tuesday?
It's not Carolyn. It's Carol.
It's not Christmas carols. It's not.
No, it is Christmas Carol.
It is. Spelled like Christmas Carol.
No. Oh wait. Toast was saying Carolyn.
Yes.
Yeah, he
What
was
the
saying Carolyn.
It's not Carol. It's not
That's
Carol
not
and
at all what it
Tuesday.
is. Yes,
It's Carol and Tuesday.
that is
They
not what it
fused- They
is.
fused at
Toast.
the end of the series to become the famous singer songwriter Carolyn Tuesday.
So who's Carol and
How about
who is Tuesday?
we'd be able to tell you all about it if we had some visual representation?
It's up. Okay, so Dark. I'm assuming you're gonna act as Carol, and Near you're gonna be Tuesday. Is that how this is gonna work?
This is not an RP podcast, so no.
No,
So tell us about this show.
I don't know. I would love to, but would be really epic is if my stream would load. There we go. Okay, good. So on stream, obviously, title is Carol and Tuesday. It's got a pretty big cast actually. But long story short is it's about two people in Mars in an unspecified year. But 50 years after humans colonized Mars.
Wait, what? This is about this is like Terraform Mars? I thought this was like
It's
regular
not, no.
band.
Yeah, it's
like,
just
all
like
like
Terraform. It's
Terraform
just
Mars.
like Terraform.
what? I thought this was regular like 2000s K-On band stuff, but with like
No.
Americans.
It's 50 years after migration to Mars.
So like Total
Yeah.
Recall.
Yeah, I guess.
All right. I get the picture now. Continue.
But yeah, so it's 50 years after people go to Mars, and basically culture. Well, they describe it as culture, and it's like just a bunch of basically creative things start dying out, and creative sectors start becoming more and more influenced by AI. So you have like DJs who produce music with the help of AI.
Oh no! It's like these. It's like the YouTube algorithm videos
Not
Like,
quite.
It's not like
No,
frozen pregnant
no,
Elsa
it's like
Spider-Man.
an AI making an actual like a song. Like they
Mellow,
They actually no, they actually had an example of this where it was like
like Melobytes. That's the one.
they
That's a software where you input like a word or something and it generates a tune.
yes, sort of.
No, because
What?
this is like real
Like
AI.
actual AI.
Actual artificial intelligence,
Okay, okay.
not like inputting things. Like artificial intelligence that have personalities.
Like
Um,
full on like robots as we know them in like sci-fi and stuff like that. Yeah.
yeah, and it's AIs in their like actual sci-fi form of they can speak, they have desire, etc., etc. Which I'm curious is if the show will actually get into as being, because obviously the premise becomes now, you have Carol and you have Tuesday. Tuesday runs away from a wealthy family at home. Carol is just working like dead end jobs in the city, and they both meet by coincidence to try and and find that each other share the same like passion for music and like human created music. Um,
Human music.
so what winds up happening, it starts to get into like the idea of old fashioned way of making music of like human singers, building your way up from there from like the bottom. So I am really curious to know if the series will get into the idea that it's like if these AIs are so advanced and these AIs have like personality, how much different is it really from a human producing music? I'd like to see if they do talk about that at all. I mean, we know that they're definitely going to cover the other side of it, of
Mhm.
where it's like, humans obviously make this, music with emotion and impact. But the real question is, you know, can an AI do that anyway if they're going to be so expressive to begin with, uh, and emotive?
So
Especially in one of the more recent episodes, there's a robot that is more or less a human character. Like, may as well be a human character.
so
So,
Pioche asked a
interesting.
good question in chat. Pioche is asking, how does Mars fit into this? Is there any difference between
So
Mars
far,
music and
it's
Earth music?
no. So far, it's just been more or less like Mars, I guess, is supposed to be. I don't know if they just wanted it as a location or if they wanted it to just be more of a signifier of like how advanced everything's become and how like sort of different it is from what we experience, considering the fact that it's like, you have AIs making music, but you're also on Mars now. So that's like completely foreign to anything that the viewer would obviously know
So there
or
isn't any
experience.
sort
So
of
so
Mar-
far there's really nothing to do with
so
Mars,
like no
right?
aliens or
Like
anything?
I mean, it's just the setting for
no.
Mars is just a way for the series to, well, first of all, set itself in the future, right?
And
And not
not deal
give,
with Earth stuff. I think.
yeah, it sets itself in the future at an unspecified date, right?
Mhm.
Because obviously humans aren't on Mars yet,
Mhm.
so it's obviously in the future, and it sets itself up to be humans have been on Mars for quite a while.
Mhm.
And another thing is people are on Mars, so that way you can set it up so that the current population on Mars is in a way alienated to the current music that we know today, right? Because
Mhm.
obviously the people way in the future are going to be listening to stuff that's totally different, right?
Right. Right.
And they're talking about like fucking Cyndi Lauper and shit in this
What?
series. So it's just a way for them to say that like somewhat modern music that we listen to today is like vintage in this series. Like it's old shit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
At
Okay.
one point, what's his name? They do some clever, well, not some clever, but they do some uh, pretty fun jokes with that being like the generation gap, where the sort of the slobby looking guy, with blonde hair, shaved like a fade, blonde mohawk or whatever.
Yeah.
Gus, he becomes their manager because he was a manager back in the day, in the prime time. He quote set up Bruno's Mars performance.
Ah, I get it.
So
Yeah.
and
I get
so
it.
and so
Bruno
like
Mars.
yeah,
Ah.
they go who? And
You know the first guy who colonized Mars and named it Bruno
Yeah.
Mars.
Bruno Mars, the first man from Mars. So there's some small stuff like that where it just sort of creates a generational gap. Does, you said, assist to create that by being on a completely different planet. Um, so yeah, basically like what's happening now is this is a 24 episode series, and the first half is described to be their rise to like their music careers.
hmm
And then the second half is going to be them actually like in a music career. So spoiler alert, they make it some way or another.
Well, the series immediately starts with a flash forward, right? Of them, like,
Playing
in front of a
Marshall.
massive crowd. So,
Yeah.
So, I want to make this sort of. I'm trying to think of how to make this question so that we're not rambling forever, but it's an actual like question. But I know that there are a lot of different topics that obviously Carol and Tuesday might cover, and what it could cover, right? Also, in terms of um, in terms of the passing of time with regards to stuff like artistic culture, the integration, automation of AI, the difference between, quote unquote, the AI music and sort of music that humans create, right? That sort of like gap or whatever. And there's all of this, but is there a specific facet right now you think that Carol and Tuesday is focusing on, and what is that sort of theme?
Right now, I would say it's just kind of focusing on them trying on the idea of working your way up from the bottom. Like the
So
most
right now
recent
it's just
episodes have been them essentially failing to do quick ways to get to the top. Like their first one was get featured by, a famous DJ. So they go to um what's it called, Mino Mamoru's character's house. And he winds up rejecting them and they almost burn his house down and then they run away. And then in episode 4, they try and make a music video, and so they try and take a shortcut by buying like an AI director robot, and then it turns out to be a big scam, and the robot is just a freeloading AI. So
right,
then
right,
that fails, and that's what we're up to so far. So it seems to just be them essentially learning the lesson of Gus's first intention of saying, because Gus had first proposed, we're going to have you play at small venues and you'll work your way up from there. And everyone at the table was like, man, that's real old fashioned. And so the guy next to him in this picture that we're using, Roddy, had suggested, like the DJ one. And then in episode 4, he suggested, like, oh, well, there's this robot that can make a music video. That'd be pretty good. And,
right, right.
So that seems to be the focus
Right now there's
but it is building up to the AI versus
yeah,
human
that's
one,
what I
because
was
there
trying to
is another
say.
character in the show.
well, I mean, I think well, probably the main theme that's going to be throughout this is the idea of, old-fashioned, like hard work compared to, modernized machine, like machine labor, right? Because there's another character in the series, I forget what her name is, but the model,
Angela.
right? Angela. She's a model. She's super famous. She's some child actor. Her her mother looms over her and like controls her entire life and her career and shit, and she wants to be a singer.
Okay.
And so they go to this like record label, I guess essentially. And there's like one human employee, right? And the rest of them are AI. And basically it's set up that they create like all of the popular music on Mars, right? It's all AI fabricated. Everything's made so, it takes like the algorithms from popular music and it incorporates it into other music to like manufacture popular music, right?
Right.
And so she goes, well, if you can just take my voice and create a song for me, then I'll be a singer, right? And
That's-
so,
That's some dangerous wording right there, especially in
um,
the future.
yeah, so like it's essentially basically being like, well, we will just take a bunch of voice samples from you, create a Vocaloid out of you, and then you'll be a star, right?
Right.
And so I think the character arc that she's going to go through is that that's not fulfilling.
Her
because-
struggle, like her psychological
Yeah.
struggle.
That's not going to be fulfilling, and
Mhm.
it's not going to reward her with her dream of being a singer.
Right.
because
What,
she's not
and she's
going
like,
to
what is the
be-
difference? Right. Exactly.
She's not going to be singing, right?
Right,
It's going
right,
to be
right.
an AI creating songs with her voice.
Well,
So I think the
is
main
it,
theme
is it though?
yeah, I mean that's what
In
I
the
was.
recent episodes, because it seemed like, because what's his name is like, for the guy is forcing Tao is forcing her to like, hit the notes, and he even says to her at one point like, the song isn't being made to fit you. You need to fit the song. Like, this song is perfect.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're taking her voice and they're going to make a song out of it. Like she's not part of the song. They're just taking her voice.
Yeah. I just mean, I don't know if the intention is to actually never have her sing. In
I
that
mean
sense.
that's what they set it up as. She's going to be a marionette. She's obviously not the one singing. They're making her into a Vocaloid.
Hmm.
Would you rather be a Vocaloid, or would you rather be a brain in a jar? Because
One isn't actually you.
you could treat. Let's compare this to real life. Who's the voice actress for Miku? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Could you consider Miku and her voice actor one and the same, or are they
I don't
different
think
people?
Miku actually has a voice actor. Isn't that
He
the
does.
whole point, that it's a purely
Yeah, no.
synthesized voice?
No, they do.
They do.
All the Vocaloids have voice samples. Like
Yeah, they're all mostly composed of voice samples. Yeah.
yeah.
So,
So-
would you say you're more of a fan of Miku or the Miku voice actor?
I mean, there's no.
I mean, this is not.
This
I mean,
is the type
not
of question that I'm
Yeah.
asking.
Well,
Well-
I mean, the point is whether the story asks that question, right?
Yeah,
Well,
sure.
I mean, the thing I'm speculating is that it's not going to be like Miku's voice actor isn't a celebrity because she's just somebody who
Yeah.
inputted thousands of voice samples.
Miku is definitely much bigger than she is. Although Fujitasaki is definitely also.
So who would
decently
win-
Oh,
who
is
would
it Fuji's? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
who would win in a
But,
popularity contest? Fujitasaki or
Well,
Miku?
Miku. But the
Miku
point is,
for- yeah,
this,
yeah, yeah,
this
no, what he's
series
saying, yeah.
isn't creating a Miku out of this girl's voice. It's going to advertise her as the Vocaloid.
Right.
Oh, okay.
She's already a famous model. She's going to be advertised in the music, but they're making her into a Vocaloid so that way the AI can create music with her voice. She's not going to be like on stage singing, is the thing. And I think that's going to be her character arc of realizing that and realizing I'm not a singer, right? Like her dream isn't going to be fulfilled at all.
See-
Whereas the dynamic or the contrast is going to be Carole and Tuesday are singers and they're doing it the old fashioned way and they're like living a fulfilling singing career, right? I think that's going to be the contrast and the theme of like pretty much majority of the series of
Right.
like, the AI created music.
Okay.
Oh,
So, Nier was just talking about again how it was more just how the person was sort of dealing with the effects of automation, with the effects of more progressing technology, as opposed to it's not like a war versus it's not like Matrix or like Iroh where it's like a war versus the AI kind of thing.
Especially not. I mean, I think one of the clear examples that they're not trying to really like the AI out to be almost like an antagonistic sort of thing is
Right.
shit. I forget what its name is, but Carole has like an AI owl alarm clock,
Mm-hmm.
and so it acts essentially just like a regular pet,
Mm-hmm.
and it's emotive, but it's also her alarm clock and an AI.
Ah, okay.
So I think in general, it's like they're not going for that, especially in the newer episode. Even though the robot that they buy is like a scumbag scam,
Mm-hmm.
it's still a very human-ish character.
Hold on one second. Hold on. Oh no. Yeah. Hold on. What is this? What is this?
I think it is quite interesting that because usually the idea of the series, right? Uh, or a series like this is again, as we described, it's either some sort of like iRobot situation where it's always against the robots or the robots go wild, or at best it's sort of like the exploration of the whole like how does a robot or like cyborg cross the boundaries and become human. It's these emotions she's feeling in her cold little heart. It's kind of like that
Well,
kind of shit,
I think
right?
the main
Yeah.
difference with this is that it's not really like it's not a series about robots, right? Like
Yeah.
this isn't a
It's
sci-fi
it's about it's
series.
about people set in a future setting that's even as it's in the future, they're still going through a transition.
Yeah, like
That's sort of how it is.
for the most part, this is a music series
Yes, yeah.
set in the future, right? It's not like a
Right.
sci-fi
Yeah,
series.
and it's talking about transitions. It's talking about change. That's
Yeah.
I think that's a bigger theme than just oh we have future technology now. It's not like that. Yeah, I can get that. But yeah, all this said though, what do you? I mean, what are your sort of general thoughts on the series so far, and do you recommend it to people?
Uh, I think it looks quite nice. I think the
Mm-hmm.
character designs are really, really good. I think the music has been pretty good. Um, I don't
What
know.
about the story so far?
The story, I mean, the story is it's pretty basic, but I do think that the setting and everything that like the setting and the characters themselves and the designs and whatnot do sort of like help that along.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, the story itself, like there's really nothing too crazy going on here in that sense of like, this is something we absolutely haven't seen before story-wise, but
Mm-hmm.
I do think everything comes together to make it something worth
Okay.
watching. Um,
Okay.
I am really curious to see where a lot of like the other characters go. There's still a lot of the cast that isn't even shown on our picture that
Mm-hmm.
haven't been introduced yet, so I'm curious to see them. Uh, really looking forward to the soundtracks, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but yeah, overall, I would definitely recommend it.
Okay.
It's definitely a lot slower,
Oh yeah. I mean,
obviously.
I would definitely
So
expect that. What about
yeah,
you, Nier?
Um, so I mean, I guess my last thoughts would be obviously this is a Bone series, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so very well animated. There a lot, pretty much all the scenes where Carol is like riding on her weird future skateboard thing. All the motion is done extremely well. It's very fluid. Um, the opening is really, really like just it's beautiful, right?
Hmm.
The ED is also really, really well done. Uh, I don't know. I think, because last episode, in my shoutouts and callouts, I was saying, there hasn't really been a series that has like pushed the boundary lately, I think.
Hmm.
Like really, really pushed the envelope, I guess.
Right.
Um, I think this series is pretty close to doing that. Um, it has, I mean, obviously every series has potential, right? I think this series has a lot of potential to do a lot of really great things. Um, Especially with all like musical series, they really resonate with people, right? Obviously,
Right.
because,
Right. Right. Right.
music is something that everybody likes.
Yeah.
Um, and so when a musical series comes out and it's like this, I think, uh, obviously it has the potential to, again, resonate with a lot of people, but do a lot of things, that a lot of other series can't really do, right? Just because, the topic of music is a very vast thing, right? You can do a lot with it.
Right. Right. Right.
Um, so I think personally, this is like I think in my eyes, this is a must watch of the season. Um,
Oh,
de-
okay.
Definitely something that's like, even if it's not like spectacular, it's
Hmm.
still going to be unique and very interesting, like all the way through, right?
Okay.
Um, Another interesting thing is pretty much all the music, uh, all the music sung by Carole and Tuesday is in English. Um,
Is it good English or is it
I mean,
real
I'm pretty
English?
From two
it's English
musicians.
singers, so
Yeah. It's
like
also being
it's not the
produced
voice
by
actors.
I think a Canadian musician.
Yeah. So, um, like this, I don't know. I think this series just it's very unique, right? And I like seeing that a lot, especially in this medium. Um, you know, uh, but yeah, like I think it's just something that you really gotta watch, especially this season. Um, this season is really good. It's got a lot of great stuff. But there's nothing else that's really like this, right? And stuff like this doesn't come around very often. Um, and it's definitely worth watching. Another fun thing that I noticed is all the episode titles are like hit single titles. Um, like Dark said, episode 4 was called "Video Killed the Radio Star," right?
Can they
Right.
do? Can they do that? Are they allowed to do that?
Yeah, I'm sure they
They
can do
must
that.
that well they must be able to because literally the cut-ins for the episodes are the
Are the
records
singles? Yeah,
of
they have the records, they have the artist. Like this show is so just well presented, right? It's great. Um, yeah, definitely watch it.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. I would definitely also suggest that people watch it. I watched a little bit of myself, haven't caught up yet, but I mean, again, if you had to pick at least like 2 or 3 series this season, this I mean, it's something that has a unique premise that actually follows it there. So it's not like what's the harm in watching it, right? So I definitely check it out. So yeah, again, thank you, Dark and Nier, for helping us cover maybe one of the biggest names this season. I would say, right? Carole and Tuesday. And again, as they both said, please do check it out if you've got time and you've got even an inkling of interest, really. And with that, we will move on to the news. Interesting, a lot of sort of I want to say company/people news this time around. So we'll head right into that. First off, the Animation Business Journal news website reported on Wednesday that the Digital Content Association of Japan's 2019 edition of its digital video market estimates the total worth of the digital video market in Japan as 220 billion yen, or about $2 billion, a 19% increase from last year's 1.6 billion US dollars. So the rate of increase is higher than both the 12% increase in 2016 and a 30% increase in 2017. Um, So blah blah. The report includes interviews with representatives from various streaming services who indicate that the market growth is due to successful advertising leading to better market penetration. Honestly, I'm gonna say a lot of this is just not necessarily just virtual YouTubers, but what sort of virtual YouTubers represented in terms of like virtual YouTubers and the spread of stuff like Nico Live shows, right? That companies did in terms of like promoting their brand or doing whatever, right? I think that spread a lot more in 2018, 2019 than before. So what I'm kind of afraid now is that like um, obviously streaming as a market is hard to grow productively forever, right? So my question now is, how is the bubble going to last when everybody is sort of jumping into the streaming market, especially with again the inclusion of technology that allows people to access streaming markets better, like virtual YouTube technology. You know what I mean? Like everybody's doing that shit now. Like there's been for a couple of months now. There's been what is it like Dollhouse or something like that? It's like weird like YouTube channel like idol whatever group. The fucking like Ayan Takatatsu's in it, and like Lin is in it, and like all these like pretty big uh voice actors are in it, and it's like really weird. I don't know really what's going on with that, but everybody's just kind of jumping into it now. So uh, do you guys think that? I mean, what do you guys think will happen to this market? I personally think that like all of these sort of like pyramid like things is this is going to end up like a bubble, especially with if everybody, not just professional but also like independent, like small time people just kind of jump into it. But it could also maybe plateau, right? But I don't know if it'll plateau really, plateau and decay.
Well, I mean, to me, this just shows that if you give people to an alternative from buying $60 BDs for 2 episodes, like they're gonna take it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that streaming services and shit are booming in general, I mean, it's really no surprise, right? When
Mm-hmm.
the alternative is either buying overpriced BDs, or pirating, right? I think,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, stuff like, virtual YouTubers and stuff that, draw the eye to streaming sites, is a massive help. But I think even without that, like the streaming services in Japan would boom regardless, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like the online manga readers, right? Um, those are going to be popular because like how many people in Japan really are like really want to, read physical versions of Shonen Jump, right?
Yeah,
Like
especially since everybody has mobile devices now.
yeah, if they have the convenience of just reading the manga on their phone, like on the train, they're gonna do that.
Right,
So
right, right.
I think the explosion of streaming services is just a matter of course, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for
That's
sure.
that's my take on it anyway.
Yeah. Um, what do you guys think? Dark Toast.
Pretty much the same page as near. I don't know. I would say yeah that virtual YouTubers did obviously help the streaming, but I don't think I think this is just going to increase over time more and more.
Like slowly
Uh,
just increase. Yeah.
yeah, I
Okay,
mean it was
definitely.
like Near said, like you're either like it's not Japan. I obviously can't speak certainly about it, right? But almost certain Japan isn't going to be that much different from the West in how it gets its hands on anime, right? Like, it's not going, like, not everyone who's watching anime in Japan is like, oh, okay, I'm watching anime, so I'm going to be paying $60 for these 2 episode BD. every single
Yeah,
time.
for sure.
Like no one's actually doing that. It wouldn't-
Yeah.
It's not fucking possible.
Yeah, the transition into like these sorts of streaming services and these sort of more convenient services is just so much easier. So it's like it's hard to argue against their eventual or their consistent growth. But yeah, hopefully things go well. Next on the line, God damn it. Both the official Japanese and English Twitter accounts for the PA Works animation studio revealed on April 18th and 19th, respectively, that studio producer Mitsuhito Tsuji would like to work on a new original work with writer Jun Maeda.
Who's that
Tsuji
guy?
also Tsuji also noted that the 6th episode of Charlotte and the 10th episode of Angel Beats were the most that Tsuji cried at a PA Works show. So Maeda first collaborated with PA Works to develop the Angel Beats mixed media project in 2010, and they later collaborated again on the 2015 Charlotte anime. Maeda is well known for writing the visual arts / key visual novels Kanon, Eric Clannad, and Little Busters, all of which received anime adaptations. Blah 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 blah. Maeda is suffering from idiopathic dilated cardiomyopathy, or unexplained enlargement and weakening of the heart's left ventricle. Blah blah blah. So, I mean, what do you guys think? I think if PA Works can pull it off, like how they have a good relationship with Okada Marie, they should go for it. But I also think that it's difficult to ask. It's too difficult to. It's too difficult to ask for lightning in a bottle like
3
so many
times.
so many times, you know what I mean? It's difficult even for Jim. Like we know that Jim will probably make something that's like okay, but that's the issue is like at this point we're always expecting the next Conrad, we're always expecting the next Angel you know what I mean? And that was sort of part of the blow up of Charlotte, right? Where it was like it wasn't Angel Beats, it wasn't Conrad, right? It was a Little Busters, so it got blown up.
Yeah, it also wasn't good.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, at this point, like Jun Maeda, like, I mean, especially okay. So if like Charlotte was like not good, you'd just be like, yeah, like it just like wasn't good. But especially since we know that it was done by PA Works, it was done by Jun Maeda, we're just like, what the fuck, dude? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Like, what happened?
Yeah, exactly. So. I think obviously with great power does come great responsibility, and it's very hard to ask him to keep just shitting out golden eggs one by one, right? So I hope he does it. I hope he if he's up to it, he gives a good try. But I also fear that again, it is very difficult to just keep making hits. Like that's not a thing that it's very difficult. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the real question is he in good health enough to do it?
Yeah, exactly. Is he just gonna die in the middle of it or some shit? Like that's the big thing.
I don't know. I don't know, man. My faith in PA Works is just like
Crumbling.
nosediving lately.
Crumbling.
Because,
It's like what happened with KyoAni a couple years back, but now with like
yeah, but KyoAni like came back, right? I don't know.
yeah.
At least for me, it did. I don't know if PA Works could do that. Like,
Yeah, these recent works like okay, it went from like Sakura Crest was okay. Kuromukuro was a little bit suspect, but I mean it was like this anniversary, like it was their kind of like guilty pleasure kind of thing. So it was like
Yeah.
whatever. So it was like Shirobako, and then they did Charlotte. That was whatever, right? And then okay, so I I mean I definitely hope that this goes well because if it does go well, it'll give it a boost up and it'll really just I don't know, it'll bring some peace to not only my heart but probably also Nier's. But it's I don't want to say it's a long shot because it's Jun Maeda, but it's hard. It's hard, man. Especially after his hospitalization, and he's also he I don't know whether he's working on a new one now, but he also recently worked on another visual art, like that summer visual novel or whatever, right? Thing. And
Did
then
he work on the Angel Beats visual novel?
that's a good question, friend.
Because if he did, like, I don't know, he's been busy, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he did Common Route, and then he did Angel Beats First Beat, right? I think. Yeah. He did the Common Route, he did the second half of the Yui route, and the EOSL routes. And he probably like looked. Oh, he did composition and lyrics for all songs, and he probably did like obviously like overall sort of like you know what I mean, like talking
Yeah,
with
just
people and being like,
overseeing.
you should probably do this, right?
Yeah,
like,
overseeing the project. Yeah.
yeah. So he did work on it, yeah. Um, but yeah, I just hope that it goes. I just hope that it goes all right. But whatever. Anyways, um, next on the list here. Oh, what the hell? Angel Beats has the Angel Beats the visual novel has sexual contact
What is this? What?
or content?
You can't
What?
have that.
No.
What
The
do
thing
you-
is, it's like
What are you looking at that says that though?
Probably VNDB.
yeah, VNDB.
Do
Oh
they
wait, no, it
just,
has
like-
no sexual contact. Never mind.
Wow.
Wait,
Illiterate.
Wait a
Illiterate.
minute. It has naked sprites and then it has no sexual contact. That's like okay.
Well,
Secret cheat code sprites.
it's not sexual.
it
Fuck.
has pregnancy too. But anyways, next on the list here. This is something on the awards side, so people might enjoy it here. The Asahi Shimbun paper announced the winners for the 23rd annual Tezuka Osamu Cultural Prize Awards on Sunday. The awards commemorate the contributions of the manga pioneer Osamu Tezuka, who was behind the infamous Ives Triple Y, obviously, Kemba the White Lion, stuff like that, Blackjack, by recognizing the manga that best follow his tradition. So this, again, award stuff, if you guys want to check out the titles here, they're usually like pretty interesting series. The grand prize goes to Jitterbug the 40s, or Sonoko Jiruba, by Shinobu Arima. In this human drama, a 40-year-old woman with no romance in her life savings account visits Old Jack and Rose, a bar for fogies whose average age is 70. New Creator Prize, Ario Hoshikuzu, by Sansuke Yamada. Yeah. The manga depicts daily life in the underworld of post-war Japan, including the black market, the pan girl prostitutes, and the government's euphemistic comfort facilities and the war orphans. Short work prize goes to Little Miss P, Sadie-chan by Ken Koyama. The committee also awarded the special prize to Takao Saito for his contributions to manga culture over the years. Golgo 13, his seminal work about an assassin for hire, marked its 50th anniversary last year. So yeah. But yeah, that was pretty much about it. And there were some others, obviously, that got honorable mentions some points along the way. Umimachi Diary by Akimi Yoshita. Nagi no Oitama, or Nagi's Long Vacation by Misata Konari. Daru-chan by Remon Haruna. Astra Lost in Space by Kenta Shinohara. Kenko de Bunkateki na Saete Gendo no Seikatsu, or A Minimum Healthy and Cultural Life by Haruka Kashiwagi. Sayonara Miniskirt, or Goodbye My Miniskirt by Aoi Makino. Fragile, Pyori Kishi Keiichiro no Shoken. Fragile, The Finds of Pathologist Keiichiro Kishi by Bin Kusamisu and Sapporo Megumi. Mashino Oto by Marimo Ragawa. And The Promised Neverland by Kayu Shirai and Posca Demizu. So again, if you want to check out any of these series, they're probably all quite interesting. So please do try Googling them. Next, more numbers here. Shueisha released its quote-unquote Media Guide 2019 document on Monday, which gives information about its various magazines to advertisers, including the company's manga magazines. The guide lists print circulation numbers and demographic information for the magazines. The circulation numbers listed below are the average numbers for the time period between January 1st, 2018 and December 31st, 2018. So these are pretty, like standard numbers. Like Weekly Shonen Jump is like everybody, and then Weekly Young Jump, and other than that, like everybody else is like in the 100,000 kind of numbers. Um, let's see. This guide did not list the gender demographics for its weekly Shonen Jump magazine, but it did list breakdown by age. 27.4% of its readers are 25-year older. 26% are 19 to 24-year-olds old. 17 are 16, 18 years old. 16% are 13, 5, or 15 years old. 10% are 10 or 12 years old, and 3% are 9 years old or younger. Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, a whole bunch of other stuff. 72% of readers buy the magazine at convenience stores. 70% versus some at bookstores. Blah blah. A lot of these kind of like interesting numbers here. But anyways, yeah. So a lot of So if you want to see them, you can kind of just go on to the media guide stuff, or you can just check out the Anime News Network related. Shueisha reveals new circulation numbers and demographics for its manga magazines. So please check out the numbers here. And last but not least, media and telecommunications company Duango announced on Monday that it has established a new CG animation brand named Tuned ID, along with an accompanying animation studio named Tuned ID Film, as well as a new motion capture studio named Toon ID Studio. Duango describes Toon ID Studio as the largest motion capture studio in Tokyo. Duango established a new brand in order to meet the increasing demands of 3D CG animation in anime games and live events. The new motion capture studio utilizes 54 motion capture cameras and the latest software and can capture more than 10 different actors' motions. So these are usually the stuff that's done with stuff like, like the Love Live dance scenes and so on and so forth, right? And so, I mean, oh yeah, Duango is also pretty. They have a pretty heavy hand into stuff like virtual YouTubers, and alongside media companies like Katakao and so on. But oh yeah, they also helped produce a new production studio named Lied last December, and which published the Virtual Sound wa Miteru, right? Which is the series with famous virtual YouTubers. So they're into that. I mean, what do you guys think? Because personally, I don't know whether I would say trepidation because Durango probably has the assets and stuff to pull it off. But it's like we heard literally just like a couple of weeks back, right, that IG Port was struggling, despite almost because they were moving hastily into stuff like CG animation contractor, right? Because that also costs a lot of money, right? So what I'm wondering is, so they have this new shiny toy, right? And they're like, okay, we're gonna use this this new shiny tool. We're gonna do all the CG anime with it. Is this a sustainable model? I mean, I mean, they're big enough to actually execute it, like pull it off, right? But it's like whether this pays off in the end is a different matter, right? That's the problem, and that was what IG Port was struggling with a couple of weeks back.
I mean, Duango is big enough to run this studio for God knows how long. But
Yeah.
The real question is,
But if it's like continues just like, being in the red because they just made this fancy toy and didn't do anything with it, it's like,
well, I mean, that's not so much my issue because I mean, if Duango loses money, it's like, who fucking cares? But like, if Production IG is saying they're in the red because they're contracting CG, like, is opening another studio gonna lower the cost, or like are other studios still going to be paying the same amount to contract CG? Like,
right?
it doesn't really matter how many studios are doing the CG.
Right.
If, like, the contracting still costs like more than doing it in-house,
Right. Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
So I don't know. I don't think it really improves the situation in my eyes, anyway.
Yeah, unless they make a business of like connecting it to light or selling it off, or like selling off its services somehow.
Yeah.
What do you guys think, Dark Toast?
I don't know. Pretty much the same thing here. It's like I don't really see how this is really going to reduce costs.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult balancing the costs here, I think. But
Also, just in
anyways,
general, like I don't know. It, I guess like the idea of like mocapping multiple actors is like something that sounds technically impressive, but to me doesn't really do anything. You know, like it, to me it'd be more. I think more important news would be like how advanced is the camera itself? What are you doing to apply that to the show? I mean, you can motion cap the greatest thing ever if it doesn't apply well to any models, any of your other, like any of the rest of the CG you're using, it really doesn't make any difference. You know?
yeah, exactly. Anyways, next on the line here, or actually, we're done with that. We're done with Durango, or the company news, and I hope that Durango can kind of at least present a sustainable model, even if it's just for like the sort of larger companies, right? But if they can set up some sort of sustainable model, maybe it can be scaled down or trickle down or somehow. But anyways, uh, next, or I guess moving on to people news here. The first piece of person news is already a little bit unpleasant. Tokyo Metropolitan Police arrested AAA lead vocalist Naoya Urata, or the age 36, on Friday on suspicion of assaulting a 20-year-old woman. So he was at a convenience store in Tokyo's Chuo Ward around 5:30 a.m. on Friday when he allegedly approached a woman who was not an acquaintance in the store to say, "Do you want to have a drink with me?" and "I'm a member of AAA. Don't you know who I am?" After the woman responded that she did not know him, Urata allegedly slapped the woman on the left side of her face. Yeah, that's apparently a thing that happened.
Love that. Don't you know who I am?
Don't you know who I am? I'm talking to you at 5:30 a.m. at a convenience store.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a big deal.
The only person that I would immediately be like, "Oh, this makes sense that I'll meet at 5:30 a.m. at a convenience store," is like Seth Rogen or something. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Like fucking Ryan Reynolds.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
like, what the fuck are you doing here? Or, you know what? No, I'm not even gonna go there. Never mind. I'm not saying it. Say it later.
Anyways, next on the line, voice actress and singer Megumi Hayashibara revealed on her blog on March 30th that she has left King Records. She noted that she is not retiring and she will still continue with voice acting and singing, but will choose jobs that quote unquote fit her. She added that these days it is possible to do this without an agency. So she's trying to, I guess, create a better situation for herself by going freelance. I mean, she's been a pretty big singer pretty big name for a while, but
Very long time.
yeah, for a very long time. But I guess she's gotten to the point where it's like, oh, I think the company is the agency is not giving me the best deal, I guess. But yeah, she's
What?
done a lot of stuff. Released her latest album 50/50 in March 2018, and her latest single Imala no Shinigami in February 2017. Obviously done openings for a lot of songs. Some of her latest roles include Haru Araharu and FLCL Progressive, as well as the characters Angelina Francine and Shirogane Saiga in Karakuri Circus. Anyways, best of luck to her and going freelance. And one of the final notes on the NGT48 saga that we've been covering for quite a while. The NGT8 saga being that there was an alleged assault of one of the main principal members of NGT48 idol group here, which is a sister group of AKB48, and it was rumored that the assault was motivated in part by some of the other members of the group, and unfortunately, it was also people also try to the upper management tried to shut it down or keep it quiet, to no avail. There was community outrage, etc., etc., etc. So that was sort of how it went on. But this time around, Team G Vice Captain Maho Yamaguchi, who was the victim, announced that she will graduate from the group, and she announced her graduation in a pre-prepared letter stating that the quote unquote the only thing I can do for NGT48 now is to graduate. She also stated that she was glad she became a member of NGT48. Riku Sugahara and Rena Hasegawa, both also members of Team G, also announced that they will graduate from the group. So very unfortunate. And obviously they announced beforehand that the two the NGT48 teams will dissolve anyways and sort of reform afterwards. But very messy ending, or a very stilted ending to very unfortunate scandal, kind of showing all the sort of bumps and warts of the idol industry. And I hope the victim, Yamaguchi, recovers and has a successful career after this, but obviously very unfortunate that all this had to happen. Very unfortunate. Next on the list here, talent agency 81 Produce announced on Monday that voice actor Kiyoshi Kawakubo passed away on April 16th at the age of 69. He had some roles such as Guame in Gurren Lagann, Kevin Yeager and D. Grayman, Quincy in Bubblegum Crisis, Lord Hudson and Slayer's Great, so on and so forth. A lot of other sort of like older series too. So please wish condolences to his friends and family. And last but not least, the June issue of Kodansha's Young Ace magazine revealed on Thursday that the Fate Grand Order Duel YA Tokuiten Michitsuku Yugi Makyo Shibuya Keto Jiken manga will temporarily change artist. So the person who was behind it originally, Eiichiro Mashin, who was drawing the manga, broke a bone in his right wrist. However, because Mashin had already prepared a storyboard for the next few chapters, wow, he's a diligent one. Proxy artists will finish the chapters instead, and so the manga will continue without the interruption. Takemaru Yokoshima will draw the manga for those chapters. So hopefully he has a safe recovery, but it's very unfortunate that he broke the wrist of his likely drawing hand. So again, wish him a fast, speedy recovery here. And with that, we are done with the news for today, and we are finally moving on to our shoutouts and callouts. So each person here gets one shoutout and one callout, and the shoutout can be to any one thing, person, place, or thing, something that you want to praise, something that you feel glad about when you wake up in the morning and think about that thing, something that you have been gloating over the past 2 weeks. And the call out is one thing that you wish it was in the deep depths of hell, something that you want to rant over, rage over, something that you have been fuming all these past hours for the past 2 weeks. And the honor of first shout out call out goes to Dark.
She. All right. Feel like this is a short one. I didn't really have much to shout out. I kind of covered it in the beginning, but PSO2, the Phantom in episode 6 has been really cool. Got a really nice drop in that for a weapon, so that's pretty sick. Yeah, that's cool. Somewhat like meme shout out to Grand Blue for fucking letting me spend money to get Tanya. That was pretty epic of him. That was awesome.
I told you.
Well, no, I knew it was gonna happen, but that's more of like I'm actually glad that I was able to do it, but at the same time, it's like fucking spend $30.
Yeah.
I rolled for her like fucking at least like 150 times as well when she was there. That was really cool. Yeah, my call out is actually going to be directly to a WoW YouTuber, Taliesin, and calling him out for not understanding the idea of something being free.
Mm.
So basically, what happened was we got into it on Twitter. Was with something in WoW for the store mounts for WoW. I think I brought up the store mounts before on the podcast. Long story short, the mounts on the store are $25 on a game that you're already paying every other year, like I think $40 or $60 for the expansions. And then on top of that, you're paying $15 a month subscription. You know, call me crazy, but I think about what is it, 200, like 300? No, yeah, it's almost. What does that come out to? Like $400 per 2-year cycle, right?
Just
$15
about.
a month. $15 a month, right? Hey, $15 a month. That's 180 a year, correct? Which is
Mhm.
360 and
Yep.
$40 expansion for 2 years. So that's $400 if you say subscribe to WoW, right? The 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Call me insane, but maybe don't fucking have $25 mounts in your store. Then wild idea. They're not good. So basically what happened was I was saying that A, regardless of the problems that those mounts already have, such as the quality difference between those and what you get in game, the fact that you can now buy WoW token for gold in World of Warcraft does not make it more consumer friendly than when you couldn't buy WoW tokens with gold. So what happens now is you could have like 150,000 gold essentially, like based on how many people are buying tokens and selling tokens. They're $20 a token, and you can buy one with WoW. And Blizzard like essentially controls the pricing of them based on how many there are being bought and sold inside of WoW, and you can use that to buy games, anything through Battle.net. You can just turn it into Battle.net currency, so you can technically buy those mounts, quote unquote, with gold. The only problem is that someone then had to have bought 2 tokens anyway, because you need to buy 2 tokens the way it works out. Money wise, because you can only buy $20 at a time, so you need $25, so you need $40 essentially. Someone then had to buy 2 of those tokens. So if someone had to buy those 2 tokens, someone's still spending money. So at the end of the day, it's not free. Someone bought it. Someone bought that amount essentially.
Yeah. I mean,
So that was basically what we got into. He was saying, A, it's objectively more consumer friendly, which one, it's not. It's completely subjective, the token system, right? Because you can now make the argument of you now have an infinitely purchasable microtransaction in this game, right? With the token. You can buy WoW Gold now through Blizzard. It's not more consumer friendly because you're buying in-game gold forever instead of just buying a mount one time if you want, right? So that throws off economies. That does everything, right? Like you're buying gold in a game. You're just doing it directly through them so you don't get banned.
right.
Which isn't a good practice. Like that's not good to have in your game. Turns everything into essentially a real money auction house.
Pretty much.
So yeah, the idea of it being calling it objectively more consumer friendly is what I'd like to call them out for, and also the idea that those mounts are free because you're buying it with gold when someone else bought it. When someone else had to buy tokens anyway, $40 to get to that point, right?
Right. Exactly.
That's not free anymore. Like just because it's free for you, which we can get into that, but just because you did not pay actual money for it, you paid in-game gold, which by the way, you're paying a subscription to get that gold and keep that gold and to be able to grind out that gold. So figure put in your time for that anyway. That's not free because someone bought it. Blizzard at the end of the day gets more money because of this system. And people spend more money on it. So that isn't free. And then the main thing
I think people are just like or like these days they're so confused about like how like the different like microtransactions and stuff like really.
Well, personal cost doesn't mean anything at the end of the day, right? Like personal cost, it means something to you, but it doesn't mean anything to the health of the game, and it doesn't mean anything to calling something consumer friendly, right? Because you're one person.
Hmm.
Like that doesn't make it okay. The horrible example he used was if a friend buys me a free lunch, that's still free. And I'm like, no, you're an asshole and your friend just paid for your lunch. Like, that's not free. You now should probably pay your friend back in some
Yeah,
way,
pretty
shape, or
much.
form. Like, no.
No,
If
it
I
was just
bought
free.
you lunch and you, yeah,
It's fr- I just
turned to
just
Nier
got
after
free
that.
lunch. Like,
I turned to Nier after that and I
You
asked
ma-
him, I was like, can you
You bought this?
pay for my WoW subscription so that it's free?
You
Would
got
you
this?
mind doing that?
I
It's
got
free.
this. It's like
So,
that meme. It's
yeah,
like it's
it's like,
just
what the fuck are you talking about? Like, that's not free. Like, if I ask you, hey, can you pay for this for me? So it's free. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, it's not free at all. So that was kind of the big point of contention, and I genuinely don't think makes any sense. Like, I think that is the wildest thing I've ever heard.
yeah.
I understand the
It's
idea that like for some people it might be better because now they can pay with gold, but overall, like that doesn't make it more consumer friendly, right?
right.
If the more people that bought gems, Grand Blue increased the overall banner rate for everyone,
Hmm.
that's not consumer friendly because some people get better banners when they don't pay for it.
Right,
Right.
right. But
no, if it benefits me, it's consumer
More
friendly.
consumer friendly for
if I
I'm a
like it,
consumer.
if I like it, it's consumer friendly.
Yeah, no, I'm a consumer and it benefits me more. That must mean it's more consumer friendly.
Yeah.
Of my sample size of me. That's how you hey, that's how you do an experiment. That's how you think about things. Take a sample size of like 3 people. There you go.
Yeah. Anyways, what about your shout out?
Oh no, my shout out was before that.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, Nier.
Whoa.
Shout out call it,
Ah.
please.
Fuck, man. I don't know. Shout outs to the fact that, you know, hmm, um, yeah, shout outs to the fact that, unlike Dark, I had pretty good gacha luck, although it was outside of,
Fuck you for having good gacha.
it was outside of Grand Blue. I was doing single pulls in FGO, and I got Melt Lilith, which was pretty cool, pretty alright, pretty solid.
Is that what you like, Near?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
see how it is.
Other than that, I did get what did I pull? Do you remember what I pulled in Grand Blue?
Did you get Passion Lip?
I got
You
no, I
in
didn't get
Grand
that.
Blue.
I got
You
Fairy.
didn't pull Medusa,
No, I
right?
didn't pull Medusa. I wasn't
You
really
weren't-
aiming for Medusa.
You weren't one of the assholes who pulled Medusa. Jack coming
No.
in last fucking day and like, oh, whoa, look, I got Medusa.
Yeah. I
Fucking
think pretty
shit.
much like everybody in here pulled Medusa. But
yeah, except for us,
yeah.
especially
I
with
mean,
our
I
free
wasn't
10 pulls each day.
I wasn't
about
going
those?
for her. But right, I got Fairy, normal Fairy, light Fairy, and I got
Oh,
Eugen,
yeah.
Grand Eugen, which is pretty sweet. I like his gun. His gun's pretty good. But yeah, pretty good gacha luck this last week.
Fuck you.
Yeah. Your
Nier
luck your luck is so bad, dude.
My luck is terrible. Like, okay, so it's
See,
like
you just have genuine bad luck. I at least have like whack luck.
the
Where
thing.
it's like,
The thing is, it's like in a sense, like people, like I have good perm luck, but perm are like useless in most mobile games now. So it's like
Speak for
like
your fucking self, dude. I play Grand Blue.
uh, perms and Dennis are garbage.
Playing the
Anyway,
wrong games.
I'm just gonna put my head down. Yo, okay, so Nier was here so he can attest to this, but it's like every time you get a dupe, you get like something called like a platinum medal, which is like essentially a currency that they gave you, like a pity currency that they gave you, and you can
Oh yeah,
exchange.
trust me, I got a lot of those recently.
So I went from fucking during the spark, I went from having like 4 platinum medals to having like 17. I was like,
I'm
I would
pretty sure,
die.
yeah, I'm almost certain that happened to me as well. Well, actually, no, I didn't get 17. I didn't get that much. But I had some pretty shit luck and I got 3 dupes, like, in the same day. Really cool.
Just interesting golden week all around for us. I'm guessing, but anyway.
Um,
And your shout out here,
my call out.
or your call out, excuse me.
I think my call out's gonna be, you know, probably Shadowverse. I I had a really bad day today.
What happened?
Well, I mean, I was grinding ladder, right?
Mhm.
And Shadowverse does the thing every once in a while where it's like, whoa, oh my god, so and so bajillion downloads. Here's this event where, um, they do the thing where like you play so many matches, right? And like chests will pop up in each match, and if you win the match, you get the chest.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Usually it's just gold, but it's a great way to get just free gold, right? Um, I was playing like all day today, right? The
Mhm.
first game I started, I get a purple chest, right, which is like the highest rarity chest that you can get.
Yeah.
I played 7 games in a row, and
Tried
then
to get that
I
purple
lost
chest.
every fucking game. And every single game, it's like the beginning of the match. It's like, by the way, here's the chest that you didn't get last game, idiot, stupid idiot retard. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, just give me the chest, man. And it was just like loss after loss after loss to the most
Jesus Christ.
bullshit decks. And I was really mad today.
Oh my god.
But, that's what card games do.
Did you get it at the end? What happened?
Yeah, I got it. But
Yeah.
I won my one game, and I was like, I'm done. I'm not playing more today. But yeah, just not a good day.
Yeah, sometimes, especially with stuff like Shadowverse or like Hearthstone, where it's like so much is based on like board momentum, where less so in like it's like it's more logical than games like, let's say, like Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh, where it's like those things are much more dependent upon, say whack combinations, right, and
Yeah,
stuff like that. But with games that are much more dependent on board momentum and kind of just having the fucking 1 2 3 4 5, right, and like just,
yeah.
just getting through it. It's like
This
what she
the current meta too, where it's like pretty much all the really like high tier decks are just like board flood, right? Like you
yeah
flood the board with
yeah
these small tokens, and then if the other person can't deal with it, then by the way, here's this legendary that evolves everything on the board for free, and it's like, well, there's like
you know
27
wait
damage to your face, right?
yeah, you're talking about Rune, right?
I'm talking about Machina Blood right now.
Okay.
Have you seen Mono? This is the
No.
new legendary, basically. So it's a 2 cost follower, right?
Mhm.
Um, and uh, her effect is basically if X amount of, I think it's like 7 Machina followers have died during the match, then when you play her, you get a 5 cost spell that evolves her, right?
Mhm.
And you can't evolve Mono with evolution points, right? Like you just
Mhm.
can't do it. You need to use the spell to evolve her. But when she evolves, she turns from a 2/2 into a 6/6 with Ward and Storm. And by the way, when you play that spell, it also evolves any Machina followers on the board for free. So,
Shaking my head, to be quite
so you
honest.
can literally just fill the entire board with Machina followers, right? They're like these 1/1 little robots.
Mhm.
And like if you don't have massive board clear to do that like before mono comes out, then you're eating 6/6 and like 4 other 3/3s, right? Or if it's like, turn 9, then they can play 2 monos and the spell. So that's 2 6/6 storms with
Right.
Ward. And it's like,
Mhm.
just fuck you, right? Sucks. But it's whatever.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it is. I mean, Shadowverse has kind of almost pretty often been like that throughout the meta, so it's very unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, it's not Tempest of the Gods, so.
Still, I think Tempest of the Gods and Wonderland Dreams still hold the record for most nerf cards in a single like.
I mean, it's
across.
also just like the least healthy the game has ever been, right?
Yo, what are you talking about, my friend? Are you saying that a Gravure model should not be able to win against a Rage tournament winner?
What are you talking about? Are you saying a card game that's decided on turn 4 isn't good?
Oh my god. Fucking
I don't know. I
bring
like
back
Batcraft,
PTSD.
so
Geez. Anyways, I think I should I guess I'll go next here. My my call out. I'm not really feeling too angry right now. I mean, I guess I'll call out All right, well, let me go to my shoutouts first. I want to I guess I'll shout out Endgame, but it it was kind of cheesy, but it's like it keeps reminding me of what philosopher like Kierkegaard kind of was talking about in terms of like how people really like sort of like this idea of like synchronicity, right? It's like everybody kind of being together. Like that's why people like this at least seeing stuff like mass, like in churches or orchestras all playing together at the same time or stuff like that, right? Or like huge parades, right? And I guess regardless of like how fast sort of the movies had to wrap up or sort of how cheesy it was very sort of cathartic in a sense to see uh, you know all the things sort of resolving, right, in a sense. So I think in that sense, Endgame was pretty good, I guess, in terms of it was like going to the circus, right, where you know that a lot of things don't necessarily make a whole bunch of sense, but you're like, oh, this feels good, and so that's my shout out to Endgame. As for the call out, I'm definitely gonna call out my gacha luck because I can't. Oh my god! I literally just needed like 2 or 3 good limbs for like pretty much all of my meta teams to work out pretty decently, and I only got 1 limb. And it's like, so one of my teams like barely works now, and the other teams are complete garbage still, and I'm like, oh my god, just fucking, I'm just gonna put my head down. But anyways, that's my shoutouts callouts. Last but not least, Toast.
My shout out. I don't know. Yeah, y'all haven't seen Endgame, so I can't shout that out because you wouldn't get it.
Spire just did.
Yeah, but he's
I
only
did.
one person. Like, he's only one person against the 1.7 billion people who say otherwise at Shousetsu.
Shake my head.
My shout out is to my Fiend War raid members. Good job, team. Yeah.
Okay. Is that it?
Hold on. No, it's actually Near, who's that one chick that you got that I asked you? Is she better than Forte?
Fill-in?
Is she
Philly?
better? Is she better than
Eileen?
Forte?
I don't have Forte, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah. Shout out to Filene. Oh no! Shout out to the animated new Forte that I got.
Nice.
My first legendary was an animated Forte, and now I got another animated Forte. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh god. Oh hey, there's that thick dark magician girl. I remember now.
What's your call out?
My call out is to my internet. What are you
Yeah.
doing? How many times did we
Yeah,
cut out?
very,
Like 3 or 4 times? Gee. What are you
Yeah, I
doing?
think we dropped
I,
like.
I'm just imagining right now, like Toast just sitting down with like the router, just feeling like, "What are you, bad boy?" Like, you know what I mean? Like just having a talk with his router.
I
It's like,
don't. I believe it's my it's the server's problem, not my router. My router, it's blue.
yeah.
All the colors are correct.
Hmm.
What are you doing? Fix it. That's it.
Okay.
There's my Forte. Yeah.
She's my
But with
favorite
that,
Grand Blue.
yeah. Thank you very much, Toast, for your shout and call out. And with that, we are going to wrap up our 118th episode. Again, if you like what we do this every other Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we record over at twitch.tv/4PlayerAnimecast. That's with the number 4. Talk about the latest and greatest in all forms of Japanese animation, anime, manga, visual novels, web novels, light novels, and so on. And we're diving right into the middle of the season. Right now, we're all at like episodes 4 and like 3, 4, 5s, right? So next episode of the podcast will be pretty much smack dab in the middle of the season. We'll be able to talk about a lot of the developments in a lot more of the, I want to say, more complex series, right? So, or more of the plot heavy series, right? So we'll be able to kind of go through those and see what's up with that. So if you do like what we do, follow us here. Follow us on our social media, Facebook and Twitter handle at 4PPAnimecast. Follow us there. You can check out our past VODs, our past recordings on Twitch and on YouTube, 4PlayerAnimecast. And just check us out here there for the latest information as well as content. And with that, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Okay.